Okay folks, I decided to do another drain and fill on the Nissan in light of what I found yesterday. I looked at that fluid, I sampled it, still looked a little brown. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to drain out the old fluid. I'm going to do a drain and fill. I'm going to drain it out, I'm going to measure it just like I did the last one, see how much I get out, and then I'm going to try to put in about as much as I take out. When I put this in, I'll probably start with 3.5 quarts and take it from there. I'm probably not going to put a whole 4 quarts in, but we'll see. I'm going to measure it several times to make sure it's right. But anyway, this week when I do this, I will show it. Now it's been 1,600 miles since I did this before, and I thought the fluid would have looked a little better, excuse me, than it did yesterday. Sorry. But it was still a little brown, so I want to do this one more time. Now, I am going to be towing with this truck, so I want to make sure that fluid's in a good state before I start towing. And I am going to be, since I will be towing with this truck when I start, I am going to be changing this out and doing this procedure every 30,000 miles to try and keep the fluid fresh. So stay tuned and I'll try to show you the rest of this process. Okay, so here's your transmission dipstick and here's the bolt that holds that on. You're going to need to take this off, so when you go to fill back up, that's where you're going to put your new training fluid. Okay, so I have the new crush washer, and that's going to go back on the bolt after I undo the bolt, the drain plug, and drain the oil out, and then the bolt's going to go back in there with a new washer. Weird to work under here. It's right here. 19. Yep, it's a 19. Now while I have you here, this truck wasn't under warranty. I might not do this, or I'd like to think I wouldn't. Since it's under warranty, I want to go ahead and do this, so if there's ever a problem with the clutches, see, I drain this out and it starts to slip, I'll know it's got an issue with the clutches, and I'd rather have that happen when it's under warranty than after. Okay, so let me pull that excuse me, drain pan and put it under there. I have driven this truck for probably 40 minutes. There we go. So that's what the fluid looks like. Can you see it? Yeah, so that's what the fluid looks like. It's not completely dark. It's got a very slight tinge of pink, and it's mostly brown. It's got a smell of, I don't know what that smell is. It doesn't smell sweet. It smells kind of like paint thinner or something, vaguely. But anyway, there it is. Okay, hopefully you can see that. It's good enough. Just a slight tinge of pink to that fluid. It's very thin. So I'm going to take this bolt and put this new crush washer on here. Okay, that's pretty much good enough. Here's the new crush washer on the drain plug. So I'm going to reach up in there and thread it back on there. Now I tried not to get any dirt or debris on the plug. Okay, so I'm just going to thread it in there by hand until it stops. And then I'm going to put my ratchet on there, and I'm going to, without over torquing it, I'm going to tighten that up, let that crush gasket seal and crush without over tightening it. If you do this and you're not used to working on things, then I suggest you get the torque specs on that and set a wrench to set it to the proper torque. Can you feel that crush washer crushing? Okay, so this is where it's actually tightening. Okay, in order to measure this, I have this measuring container, and up to here is 2 quarts. And I've got this, so after I measure it, it goes in this guy. Hopefully you can see that. It's a messy process, but I definitely want to measure what I take out. What Nissan tells you is to measure what you take out and then put the same amount back in. I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to put back in, but maybe some could be in reserve, right? Maybe some can be up in that transmission and you don't know it. So you definitely need to measure what you take out so you don't ever fill it. Okay. Let's see what we get here. Okay, that's 2 quarts. Okay, let's measure the rest of it. Okay, almost 2 quarts, but not quite, right? Now I need to also keep in mind that this drain pan is the one I used to change my oil. So there was probably a little bit of residual oil in there. So I'm going to start at 3.5 quarts. And then I'm going to start measuring that dipstick so that I don't overfill it. But that's almost 4 quarts. Probably, let's say it's down in here somewhere, what I got out. Because, like I said, there's some residual in that pan. But now I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to start with 3.5 new quarts in. And we're going to start measuring the dipstick. Okay folks, hopefully you can hear me. Busy street that I live on. I can't remember which funnel I used to put in here to put the oil in, but whatever funnel you use, you want to wipe off the inside and outside. You want to make sure it's completely contaminant free. You don't want any fragments or anything getting in there. Now your transmission does have, this particular one has a metal screen, so hopefully anything that goes in there will be caught. I happen to like this blue one better. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That one seems to fit in there a little better. So I'm going to start pouring. This is the first quart. Okay, I can tell by the way this smells that the old fluid basically smelled about the same. This has a slightly sweet smell though, where the other one didn't. It's the first quart. Okay, this is quart number 2. Hopefully the camera's still running. This is quart 3. And this one will be the half quart. Okay, that is the half quart, so that's 3.5 quarts. Let's see if the camera's still running. Okay, so now I'm going to start the truck up in park, and I'm going to start checking the oil level. First I'm going to check it on the cold, then I'm going to let it warm up, and I'm going to check it on the warm setting. Okay, so the truck has been sitting idling for just a minute. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cycle through all the gears, make sure that fluid gets circulated around in there. With my foot on the brake, of course. Okay, now I'm going to go out and check it for the first time. And then I'm going to let it warm up for 15 minutes sitting out here. I'm going to check it again. Then I'm going to take it for a drive, and then I'm going to check it again. Okay, see, it's just barely on the hot, just at the bottom. Hopefully you can see that, I don't know. And the top is, for the cold mark, is full. So I'm going to let it warm up and I'm going to check it again before the truck ever goes anywhere. Now meanwhile, I'm going to look under here for leaks. That spot there is from when I spilled it, when I drained it. I don't see any additional spots, but I'm going to keep looking out for it. And in the following days and weeks, I'm going to be looking out for it too, for spots where it's leaking. And again, I'll probably check it again in a couple days, and then maybe a week later, because it's pretty critical. Okay, after making sure the truck is warm, I'm going to add just a smidge more oil to it. Okay, I'm going to put the dipstick back on, and we're going to take the truck for a ride, and then we're going to come back and we're going to check that oil level again. Okay folks, let's go for a ride. Goes right in gear. Let's try it in reverse. Right in gear. Right in gear. Okay, that's the way you want. And notice when I first got this truck, before doing these procedures, he's draining, and these two drain and fills. And the first drain and fill, that the truck went into drive immediately, but there was kind of a little bit of lag when it went into reverse from neutral. Let's say it was 1.5 to 2 seconds from neutral to drive. That may be an exaggeration. I tried to count, but you know, I'm counting in my head. But there was definitely a delay when you went to put it in reverse. Now when I did the first drain and fill on it, I noticed that the transmission was much more responsive when you went from neutral to reverse. So that kind of cleared that up. Now there was still, before this particular drain and fill, there was still a little bit of delay between neutral and reverse sometimes. Let's say it could be up to 1 or 1.5 seconds between neutral and reverse while it went into drive immediately. Now just when I just did this, it went into each gear immediately, reverse and drive. Now the truck is driving very well. Everything feels good. Takes right off. I don't feel any torque converter slipping when I take off from a stop sign. So we're going to take it down the road and we're going to see how it drives. Now hopefully I've got enough battery in this camera that I'm using to film myself to record at least part of the drive. Because when I come back, I'm going to check the fluid again after whatever drive this is, 10-15 minutes. And if I think it may be too high, I'm going to take a little out. Because you notice that I put in over 300 milliliters shy of 4 quarts, even though I got about 4 quarts out. And it's higher than I like. I want that fluid right in the middle of that dipstick. But it's not overfull, just like it wasn't overfull the other day. But we'll see how it is after I drive it. Seems to shift well. It shifts about the same as it did the other day before I did this. So no negative effects of doing that drain and fill. Now I'm going to drive it for a minute. I'm going to turn the camera off here in a minute because I want to, want to get a good drive in, and I don't want to run my battery down or be distracted. But the truck runs good. It's running good, shifting well. And so I'll get back with you just in a minute. Okay folks, that was about a 40-minute drive I just took. The truck seemed to drive fine. Didn't feel any slipping when I took off from a stop or at any time. The shifts felt positive to me. If you're just cruising along, it just shifts like that. If you're gagging on a little bit, you'll feel it. You'll feel a shock. Not having bought this truck new, I don't have any idea what it's supposed to shift like or what it shifted like new. In reading the maintenance manual in the Nissan maintenance manual for this truck, it says if the shock is too small or if it is too big, that's cause for concern. I don't think it's either. It's not perfectly smooth. It feels positive when you're gagging on it, which is what I want to feel. This will be the last time I drain and fill it for at least 30,000 miles. If I think there's an issue with the fluid from now on, I'm going to take it to the shop and have them look at it, see if it's getting hot. If it's getting hot, why. I didn't see any clutch material in the fluid, but it's not like I looked at it with a microscope. I think I've read that if it's got clutch material on, it's going to be more black. Now, I didn't see that. It's just fine for now, and I'm going to check it again. I'm going to go out and check it again, check the dipstick. If it's where I want it, it's going to stay. If it's not, I may decide to take maybe 100 milliliters out. My advice for you is, if you do this on the Nissan Frontier with the 4.0, first of all, measure it like I did, but then when you put it back in, start with 3.5 quarts. And for me, that was enough to get it just on the part of the dipstick where it was okay. And then I added a 1/4 quart more, which I think may have been a little bit too much. If you're going to add fluid, do it 100 milliliters at a time. But anyway, I'm going to check it again, and should be good to go. And then I'm going to drive for a couple weeks or a couple days. I'm going to check it again, and then I'll drive it some more. Then I'm going to check it again, and then finally that'll probably be about it. Thanks for watching. Have a great week. Okay, so I just wanted to show you. It says 3 quarts And then on the fourth quart, it's minus 300 milliliters. Now, I just checked that it's not over full. It's not even to the top, but it's within a 1/16 of the top, maybe a little less than an 1/8 from the top. So I think I'm going to let it cool. I'm going to take out just 100 milliliters and then be done with it. But I just want to show you. So I measured almost 4 when I took out. Now, like I said, there's probably some residual in the old pan, drain pan. So you have to take that into account. But so putting it back in here, I'd say 3.5, and then maybe just right there, which is where I want it. So I'm just going to take out about 100 milliliters of fluid and then be done with it. And then of course I'm going to check it again in a couple days and then the next week. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hope this was helpful. Have a great week.